First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I really appreciate your time. My name's Tim Rainey. I'm Assistant Director at Tameside Council for Digital Services. Tameside Council, if you didn't know, is about 7 miles up the road from here. It's one of the 10 Greater Manchester authorities. And I'm also the Chair of the Digital Infrastructure Cooperative. I don't need to go through this in any detail. I'm sure you'll recognise this is just a representation of often how we see our internet being delivered into our homes with the passive layer, active layer and service layer, and the way in which certain companies kind of deal with those kind of different aspects of internet connectivity. In particular, I'm obviously here today to talk to you about the Digital Infrastructure Cooperative and how it actually operates. And the principle behind it is that it brings together a series of disparate assets into a single cohesive network for commercial organisations to deliver internet services over. We are, in essence, a cooperative in the same way that LINX is. We are regulated in the same way through the FCA. We're the same kind of form as yourselves. One member, one vote. We've been in existence since January. And what it actually looks like on the ground. The blue is a resilient figure of 8 fibre network which runs around 8 of the 10 towns in Tameside. That infrastructure has been put in place by funding from the NHS, from the council, from local colleges, from social landlords. All of each had a need, all of each built its own business case. But what we've done is stitch together those different bits of investment to create a single network, which we're now commercialising through the Infrastructure Cooperative. The red bits you can see there are additional bits of ducting and fibre that were paid for by the Department for Culture, Media and Sport as part of the Wave 1 LFFM project. And basically what that allowed us to do was to expand the infrastructure into the high economy employment areas in Tameside. We knew that's where there would be a lot of business for commercial ISPs and telcos to target. The series of stars that you can see around there and the kind of cross which is in the middle. The cross is the Ashton Digital Exchange. The Ashton Digital Exchange is a vendor-neutral landing point where telcos and ISPs can put their equipment and access the dark fibre infrastructure. The cooperative itself only deals with passive side of things. It doesn't actually light any fibre. It doesn't deliver any services. It leaves that to its members to do. And in addition, we've got 8 mini DXs, and they're the stars that you can see around the map as well. And they're, again, vendor-neutral landing points where ISPs, telcos can put their equipment in if they've got multiple customers in a particular town around Tameside. The purple line you can see running off from the middle down towards the far left is the Transport for Greater Manchester Metrolink route. And we put fibre down the Metrolink route into Manchester, and we've got connections now into LINX Manchester. The DX at Ashton is based around the Ashton Old Baths development, a Victorian baths which has had a huge amount of investment to turn it into a digital incubator and startup unit. And we're in the process now of just building a Tier 3 data centre in there, which will not only act for council and NHS kind of hosting of computer systems, but also, as I say, this vendor-neutral space where telcos and ISPs can put their equipment, can put servers and deliver services into Tameside through the fibre infrastructure that we have. If you look at it kind of topology-wise, systematically-wise, that just gives you an idea of how it hangs together with the DX in the middle, mini DXs around the place, this resilient figure of 8, the link down to New Islington. We then jump onto Gamma's loop network, which gives us that final connectivity at the moment into Manchester, LINX Manchester. But we've got a second route going through the city centre, through the Old Oxford Road Corridor project, working with Zayo to see if we can bring that back to life again and use that connectivity. And that's where we are at the moment. That kind of all that infrastructure is in place. That's all live and running. Our next plan, which we begin in autumn, is to extend that infrastructure out into some of the more rural areas of Tameside. So top, we've got Mosley. Towards the right here, we've got Glossop and Hadfield, which, whilst it's not part of Tameside Metropolitan Borough Council, is part of the NHS CCG infrastructure, Tameside and Glossop NHS, and through Hattersley. We're using Network Rail to connect those pockets of ducting and fibre back into the main figure of 8. So I'm sure many of you have heard of the Transpennine Fibre project, which you see Network Rail install fibre from Manchester through to York. They're putting meet-me points at Mosley, Stalybridge and Ashton, and then again through, hopefully, all the way through to LINX Manchester for us. In terms of TDIC and the membership, actually many of our members are your members. They're organisations that have got ASN numbers and they deliver services out of LINX Manchester. We have three kinds of members. User members, these are the kind of telcos and ISPs who pay to access our dark fibre infrastructure and will deliver services to businesses and residents across the borough. Contributor members, which typically are public sector or private developers who've paid for ducting and are actually putting that into the cooperative. And then there's investor members, people who've actually put money in the cooperative, and as a result of that, they'll get an interest-style return on that investment. Why we're doing it, I think we all kind of know about the kind of lack of fibre across the UK and the government trying to incentivise to get more fibre in the ground to make us more competitive and give people better opportunities. In Tameside, we already have now 35% of all residential and businesses within 200 metres of a fibre infrastructure. When we finish the phase 2 work, that will be over 50% of businesses and residential properties. And importantly for us, it opens up a whole new avenue now in terms of 5G technology. Our infrastructure follows the streets and roads around Tameside. We've fibred up our lamp columns because we use them for CCTV and town centre Wi-Fi. We've got around 40 access points for town centre Wi-Fi across 8 towns in Tameside. But we're also now looking to make them available for 5G because we've got basically fibre to columns, and we know that 5G small cell technology will need that kind of infrastructure, that kind of asset to begin to get to market. Our ambition is for Tameside and Ashton DX to become a full POP. And actually what we'd like to see in working with DCMS and working with Northern Powerhouse is whether or not we can develop a proposition around distributed peering across the north of England, pulling together different kind of local POPs and beginning to actually do some resilient work for the north of England around internet connectivity. Our hope short term is that we'd love to become a transmission POP for LINX and be able to actually have your equipment in our digital exchange, delivering internet services to our members who are also your members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions to Tim? Yeah, there is one actually.
Hi, Simon Lockhart from Glide. In terms of accessing dark fibre and things like that, are you looking to only sell it to people that are serving public service, or is it essentially available for anyone to use?
It's essentially what happens is we installed a twin ducting all the way around the borough. One section of ducting has fibre in which is being lit by councils and by the NHS. The second duct is full of fibre, which we're making available to the co-op members. So only the co-op members of the co-op can access that dark fibre. But anybody can be a member of the co-op. It's completely open to anybody who wishes to join.
So we could just join and
you can join and then you can access the asset. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Okay.
No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.